and looks forward to the submissions process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Leonard King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Labour opposition will be opposing this bill. This bill amends the Resource Management Act and makes a number of changes to the RMA process and imposes a 6-month consent time frame for medium-sized projects. And it's called Phase 2 of a series of government reforms to the RMA, with more coming next year. So let's start there. We have already had the experience of this government doing things in a piecemeal way, in an ad hoc way, and in a half-baked approach. And that's what we are facing yet again with this bill. Why doesn't the government complete its work and bring to this House a comprehensive piece of legislation for us to consider? Bringing in piecemeal pieces of legislation is a waste of the House's time and a waste of the Select Committee, and means that those who want to submit to any bill that comes to this House have to do it 2 or 3 times, depending on how many times this government decides it's going to bring in a bill that relates to the same topic. So I say to Nick Smith, who's probably been the author of this, I doubt whether Amy Adams is the author of it, right behind this is the hands and the fingerprints of Nick Smith. Could he not have learnt from the Local Government Amendment Bill of 2012 that you do things based on evidence, that you do the job first, and then you bring the bill to this House? But oh no, here we go again with a half-baked idea that has had very little consultation. And I found the regulatory impact statement also very, very interesting, because remember the Local Government Amendment Bill, Mr. Speaker, it had a very interesting regulatory impact statement. In fact, it ripped the government apart in terms of saying how poor their consultation had been, how rushed it had been, and how they had not considered all the options because there was not time and there was no quantitative evidence to back up some of the claims that Nick Smith had made. So what does the regulatory impact statement say on this bill? It says this, quote, "Given the nature of the issues covered in this policy process, accurate quantification of the size of the problem and the size of the impacts has not been feasible across all options analysis. It's difficult to quantify the scale of cost reductions resulting from the proposals in this paper, as they impact on a broad spectrum of business community and a mix of direct and associate holding costs." In other words, the work has not been done, and the regulatory impact statement is pointing this out. They have not been able, it's not been feasible to look across all the options. So why not wait, get the evidence and do the work before introducing a bill? But no, once again, this government rushes headlong into legislation before they have thought it through. And my colleague Grant Robertson pointed out their consultation processes. Well, they did a little bit of consultation in 2009, then it looks like they put it on the shelf and went away and forgot about it, because there has been very little consultation since 2009. In fact, the regulatory impact statement says that. No subsequent consultation has been undertaken, including with the Environment Court, in relation to its capacity to implement proposed changes. Well, wouldn't you think you'd go and talk to the Environment Court and ask them, will you be able to handle the cases we think will be coming through? Wouldn't that be a logical question? Wouldn't that be your first question? Because isn't this bill all about unblocking roadblocks? Unblocking roadblocks. So what do? They put in place a bill, they don't consult the Environment Court and say, hey, can you manage this? And so where's the next roadblock? It's likely to be at the Environment Court. So what a fundamental error this is by this government on this bill. A simple bit of consultation before they rush this bill 2 days before the House rises. One more day of Parliament, had to rush it in, couldn't wait till next year to ask the Environment Court what they thought about it. This is what the regulatory impact statement says. This bill is a power grab by this government, and it is also once again taking away decisions from local communities, and I believe it is an attack on local democracy, because we now see an emerging pattern in the 4 years of this government. We've seen it with the ECAN bill, where they took away the right of local people to have a vote on their regional council on spurious evidence and spurious argument. And everybody that submitted to that select committee knew it was spurious argument that was being used, including the commissioners themselves. And then we had the Local Government Amendment Bill, which once again reduced the ability for local communities to have a local say. So this just is yet another in this government's disregard for local communities and for democracy at a local level. Because we need a government that works from the grassroots up, not the beehive down. But that is all we have had to date from this government. I have a series of questions to put to the government, and I'd like some answers and hope we get them at the Select Committee. I won't hold my breath. But what is the estimated cost to local government for the Resource Management Reform Bill 2012? I want to see the estimated costs. Has the work been done, Dr Smith, on what the cost will be on local government, having slagged off local government up and down New Zealand, slagged them off because they are putting up their rates, increasing their debt, and once again, here is government imposing on local government. So what is the cost? That is not what local government believes. That is not what Auckland Council believes. So if it's saving the government, put the costings on the table. Let us see the costings. I will be asking for them at the Select Committee. What are the costs? Have the costings been done by DIA in the Ministry for the Environment? Have they even been done? Where are they? Why aren't they? You wouldn't trust them with the costings, because obviously this is an agenda they want to push forward, and to hell with the consequences. I want to know what consultation has been undertaken with the Auckland Council on the impact of the Resource Management Bill on their unitary plan, and in what way will it assist it? Are they happy with what's being proposed in this bill? Has the Auckland Council and the Mayor and the councillors said they are happy with the proposals in this bill? After all, we're told by Amy Adams this is to help Auckland. Well, are they happy? Give us some feedback on that. I also want to know why the hearing panels under the Resource Management Reform Bill are going to be chosen by the government. How can that be open and transparent? Why are they not allowing local people to make that decision? And are they going to allow a local representative on the hearing panel? I think the answer is no, because I think Grant Robertson got it right when he said there's already been a list put out as to who's likely to be on any hearing panel, chaired by Paula Rebstock, gets every chair available person, Stephen McElrea, Tony O'Brien and Peter Kiley. So where's the local community representative on that hearing panel? I also want to know what consultation has taken place with the Minister of Maori Affairs on tikanga knowledge and Maori representation on the Resource Management Reform Bill 2012, and was he happy with the decisions that have been made as they affect Maori in terms of this bill? I'd like to see the information provided by Dr Sharples on what he thinks about this bill, and I suspect he is not very happy about it at all. And what delays, if any, are estimated for local government by this bill? What delays will they face, and what will be the costs to them? And also I want to know what will be the impact, finally, the impact of this bill on the recently passed Local Government Amendment Bill, because the 4 well-beings have been removed from the Local Government Act, and one of them was economic well-being, the others being environmental, cultural and social. They're not allowed to consider those now, but this bill says they have to have, as an overriding consideration, the economic development in an area. So how does it go against one thing that takes away the economic well-being, and this bill that that says they now need to consider it. Mr Speaker, this bill is once again a dog's breakfast. They ought to have waited and got it right, but they rush headlong into a bill I think is going to cause more problem than it's worth.
I call Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It gives me no pleasure to speak